Hello, welcome to another episode of Locked In. My name is Megan Holden,
And I'm Sam Rodriguez.
and we cover the latest and hottest NBA, NFL, and Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League news and hottest debates. For those who don't know, Creighton Young Minds Undiscovered League is the first replica of European model basketball training and development in the U.S. They took basketball talent from all across the nation, from all different levels, to compete at the highest level on the court in the league. For topics today, we're talking about 3 bold NBA predictions before the season starts off. The season's 2 days away. If you're watching this today, if not, it probably already started. We're talking about bold predictions, what's going to happen for the season. We're also talking about predicting NFL playoff wildcard teams. Which one has the best chance to make a playoff run? There's a couple options there. It's going to be an interesting debate. And lastly, we have a special guest for Creighton Young Minds League, an interview with one of the all-star players. So stay tuned. Sam, can you tell me a little bit about this Creighton Young Minds player that we're interviewing?
So this player, his name is Jarret Henderson. He plays pro basketball for the TBL Louisville Jackets. He's a 6'7" guard and forward, so he's a bigger on the size. They call him the energy guy. This man is all over the court, left and right, dunking on people's heads, getting rebounds. He's probably one of the most athletic players in that league, I'd say. He was our player of the week last week. He had 16 points, 13 rebounds. I'm telling you guys, he's something special.
And scouts been catching that too. Some scouts been already back-to-back games. Scouts pointing him out as a player that's standing out. So to start off, let's talk about our wild card. I'm going to share the screen real quick. What wild card team is most likely to make a playoff run, right? So I'm going to give you guys the current picture of what it looks like right now. So you have the AFC, you got the Dolphins, the Colts, and the Browns in that wild card spot. It's going to be a tight race between the Titans and the Browns. I can flip, but given the schedule going forward, it looks like the Titans do have a little bit of a better shot. They have more control. Also winning that game, they also have, obviously, the tiebreaker. And then you have the Ravens creeping up. If you look at who's still left in the race, you have the Ravens and Vegas. Vegas have to win both games and have to get favorable type of losses for Miami. I don't really see that and the Ravens. I don't really see that happening. So it's really between a race between Baltimore and Miami. And Miami does have a little bit easier schedule. And to the NFC, we got the Arizona Cardinals, the Buccaneers, and the Rams. Now also, everyone also know the NFC can't talk today. It's up for grabs, right? But again, the Washington football team has the easiest schedule. Looks like they have full control. I know the Cowboys are on a little winning streak, but they need some luck with Washington losing one game. And who's on the bubble over there in the AFC, if I can find you. NFC, right here. CBS is amazing. They have all this information. Shout out to CBS. You got Chicago creeping up, 7-7, and Minnesota not too far behind, 6-8. Arizona would have to do some favor to lose a game. Chicago, I could tell you that I think how it is right now is how it's probably going to stay given the schedule. So given that, Sam, let me hear about your favorite for wildcard team to make a playoff run.
So I was in between a couple, but I like the Dolphins, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking serious this year. I wouldn't have expected that. I don't think anyone would have expected that, considering how last year went. They really didn't add many other pieces. But Tua's showing out. He's proven people wrong. Ryan Fitzpatrick did his thing the first couple games. They've had a solid set of quarterbacks playing, and they're all playing. That defense is stepping up. We saw them play against the Chiefs having that game. They could have beat the Chiefs. They were right there with them. Pat Mahomes threw, I think, 3 interceptions on that defense. That team is serious. I don't think people understand that. And the fact that they'd be playing the Steelers first round, I told you I'm not sold on the Steelers. They lost the last 2 games. The Dolphins could pull an upset on the Steelers. I could see that happening. So I don't know. I'm big on the Dolphins right now. I think Tua's looking great. He's proving people wrong. He proved me wrong. I didn't think they should have drafted him. I thought they should have took Justin Herbert, but he's looking pretty solid out there. And that whole team is playing as a unit. They're probably one of the most well-rounded teams in the league right now.
Yeah, Tua definitely impressed me as well, especially in that Kansas City game. And obviously going to the Patriots game, Bill Belichick obviously has a record against good record against rookie QBs. But as the game went on, you could tell he learned from mistakes and he was doing better throughout the game. He really picked it up. Miami's also, if they stay in, if the Ravens don't beat them out, which I don't think is going to happen, if they stay in, they're also my wild card team who I think are going to make a playoff run because of the situation. They're going against Pittsburgh first, right? Who I think they have a top defense in the league. They have let me make sure here. They have number 7. Nope, got that wrong. And number 2 in defensive points. And also they beat teams like the Rams already. They upset the Rams, upset Arizona. So they're capable of upsets, right?
Yeah.
I think they also have the offensive talent as Tua gets better. And you have Devontae Parker. You have Gaskin comes back to run. You have the offensive talent to put up some points. The only thing that scares me is the offensive line against the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line. But besides that, I think Brian Flores been here before, right? He was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots in that Super Bowl run when they beat the Rams. He was part of the Patriots staff for a while, so he's been here before. He has a team playing, I think, best capabilities. He's a head coach of the year candidate. I think that they are on a hot run. Like you can tell, they're starting to find an identity. And I think they can make a playoff run. Because if they beat the Steelers, then they're gonna face their number 7, right? Then they will face the 3rd or 6th team. And if the Bills win, it was a close game with the Bills earlier this season, 31-28. They face each other again to end the season. So we're gonna see that. But it's closer than people think. And I think they have a shot to make it to the AFC championship game. Now I would say this though, if they do not make it, who I would give it to? People think I'm crazy. Okay, so I would not give it to the Buccaneers because obviously at first I thought Buccaneers because Tom Brady's clutch, right? Last 2 minutes, I count on him. He's been here before. But it seems like the Saints are the Tampa Bay Kryptonite. It's like the Saints are the Kryptonite. They can't beat the Saints. Saints got their number. People wonder if it's because, Jameis Winston's over there now and if that's part of it, but we'll see. But it seems like they got the Kryptonite. So they would have to play them next if they beat Seattle. Or if it's LA Rams. And I think that won't work. So I think who actually is my sleeper if the Dolphins don't make it is the Washington football team. Here's why, before people start judging me. They are fighters. If you talk about the team in general, they got a coach who's battling cancer. They have a comeback to the player candidate, and Alex Smith's come back from an injury that people didn't think he was going to be able to walk again. This defense is top notch. I think they have the spirit, kind of like we see with the Heat in the NBA last season, underdog spirit, where they have fight in them. And we see that they pull upsets against Pittsburgh Steelers. They're very capable of pulling upsets. They'll be at home the first game because of their weak division. So I think they have the defense to stop the Rams down if they play against the Rams. We just saw them lose against the Jets. They're very unpredictable with their offense. And also same thing with Seattle. And Seattle doesn't have the secondary, I believe, to stop anybody. So I think they have the possible. They're able to score points if they go against Seattle. And with the Rams, I think they have the defense to stop them too. So I think they can possibly get to the second round. Maybe even the NFC. I don't know if I would say the NFC championship. I'm a little scared to say that, but I think they could pull definitely a couple upsets in the playoffs.
And then, real quick, while we're on top of that, can we talk about this Rams-Jets game?
Yes.
Can we talk about how stupid the Jets have to be to win this meaningless game and basically screw themselves out of getting a potential Hall of Fame quarterback coming out of this draft?
Well, here's the thing. It's interesting because a Jets player tweeted out, if you're really a Jets fan, you wouldn't be rooting for us to lose. Now, how do you feel about that? If you're a fan, should you be rooting for your team to lose? Should you be happy, hey, this is something we could build on, some good signs? Or should you be like, you just ruin our future?
So if we're already 0-12, I'm not going to root for us to win, especially seeing how our quarterback, Sam Darnold, is straight trash. That people saying he's not getting his time to shine, he's not getting a chance. No, he's had his chance. He's not good.
I think just that whole team, they just need a lot. I think Sam Darnold is probably better than how he's playing. I don't think he's going to be great. But I think he is better than what he got the opportunity to show with the Jets. I just think they're not in a position. I think they need a lot more than a QB. I think Trevor Lawrence should have been – that could be a possible future franchise QB. And they're definitely missing out now. I think it was a stupid move to win. I feel like if you're not a playoff candidate team, you should just tank. That's just my
Especially
feeling.
if you're 0-12. If you're going for the first pick and you're already 0-12, what's the point of winning? Like, put in your backups. Let them get some reps. Like,
Yeah, to me, it showed more about the Rams than it did about the Jets. Like, Jets, okay, you won one game, you put one upset. To me, it showed the Rams underestimated their opponents and slept on them.
yep.
And
The Rams, I've never been big on the Rams. Ever since that Super Bowl, I've never been big on them. Like, they have great players. It's just their quarterback is not what he's getting paid. He's not worth what he's getting paid. They don't really have, like, a chemistry together. They're the best defensive tackle in the game. They have a pretty solid defense, I'd say. But they don't know how to work. That system doesn't work.
yeah, I think also, too, it's like you said, they're limited by that QB, Goff. If you put pressure on him, he's going to struggle. Over the last game, it was more of the wide receivers dropping passes versus the Jets. It's just and in the running back situation, I know Todd Gurley was always banged up, but I feel like Akers is not as good as Gurley. They can definitely use another running back. They have the defense for sure. I just feel like they need a more sure thing at QB and running back position. But for the Jets, I feel like you don't really learn anything in this win. You don't really gain anything.
No.
You just wasted losing out on a potential franchise QB. And if I'm the Jets fans, I'm furious. From the Jaguar fans, I'm jumping up and down.
Oh, yeah. The Jaguars they're set, really, now. They're getting him. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty happy with that, honestly, because the Jaguars have a pretty decent team. Like, James Robinson showing out this year. No one expected that. DJ Chalk Jr., and they're going to get a quarterback that's, good. So he's going to have people to throw to him. They have decent weapons. They could easily pick up off that. I'm sure wide receivers are going to want to go play with Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me ask you about that. How confident are you in Trevor Lawrence being a franchise QB? Do you really think he's a real thing?
So I think he's a real thing. I watching him in college. He's been consistent on and off throughout the past 2 seasons he's been at Clemson, and he's won national championships. He doesn't shrink under pressure. He's had big games. He has had some bad games, but so does every quarterback. You can't have perfect games all the time. And you saw when he's hurt, they lose games. They lost to Notre Dame when he was hurt. He comes back and they blow out Notre Dame. That shows you the effect he has on a team. And that Clemson team is ridiculous. So for one person to make that huge of an impact, I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the league, especially going to a young team like the Jags.
Well, I agree. And also, I kind of like to fit better with the Jags than the Jets because I feel like the Jaguars have more pieces, right? They have this kind of a solid wide receiver core. If Cole stays, they have some out. They just drafted one last season. They also have, top of my head, trying to think of the name. They also have a running back in Robinson that we've seen. They have a decent offensive line. The coaching situation is up in the air because people are not sure if they're going to keep Doug Marino based off they fired GM. Seems like they're cleaning house a little bit. But they haven't said anything about firing the head coach. So maybe he stays. They have solid pieces in the defense. I just feel like they have more holes filled than the Jets. And I feel like he'll probably do better with the Jaguars than a Jets organization.
There was rumors that if the Jets had the first pick, he was going to stay at college another year. Just because the Jets would ruin him. Adam Gase would ruin him. And I hate seeing that.
Now that Adam Gase won a game, does he get fired or how does this work?
I'd fire him on the spot.
Honestly, I don't know what's the plan with Adam Gase. I don't understand why he still has a job. If he has a job next season, I feel bad for any QB who gets there because it seems like he just doesn't have it together, especially with the team. I don't like how he handled the LeVar Bell situation. And it seems like his play calling, he doesn't even trust his offensive coordinator. And it's just a lot of mistakes we see constantly through the season. I think they need a new head coach before they even think about going for another QB. He
burnt his bridges between Jamal Adams and the team, one of the best players in the league. He burnt the Le'Veon Bell thing, as you said. He burnt the two-star bridges. He burns their bridge to get the next top quarterback in the league. I mean, I don't know why you don't fire him at this point. I don't know why he's still there. No NFL team should even hire this man. I don't even think a college team should hire him. He should go down to high school football and get his act together first.
Well, I think that's kind of a messed thing. You don't got to roast him like that. Like he's a marshmallow.
I have to.
I would say he was solid as a coordinator. He should go back to being a coordinator. I don't think he should be a head coach. I don't think he should be a head coach. I don't think he has good grasp of the locker room.
No, he doesn't.
Going to our NFL debate, to our NBA debate, give me 3 bold predictions. I'm not saying regular predictions. I'm talking about bold. I'm putting a stamp on it. This is what's gonna happen, and people are not gonna see it coming. What's your 3 bold predictions?
All right, so I've been going back and forth on this. I've had about 20 bold predictions.
We just need 3.
I'm the bold guy. I know. I like giving out the stuff that people are gonna hate on me for, and that ends up happening in the end.
Okay.
So this may not be a wild prediction, but I have Lakers repeating. I have that happening. Their team's better this year than last year. All right. Marc Gasol is a phenomenal center. It's adding to them passing and shooting.
Mhm.
Better than JaVale McGee. That's an upgrade. Losing Avery Bradley, yeah, it's a big hit on defense. Whatever. We'll get over it. We got Dennis Schroeder now, Montrezl Harrell, and we saw, what's his face? Taylor Horton Tucker going off in the preseason.
Oh my God.
against
Preseason game.
off.
Preseason.
Yeah, but still, he stole from Kawhi. He played against Paul George and Kawhi. The whole team played.
It's going to be like another Kuzma situation. It's going to be Kuzma 2.0. There's so potential, but you guys are not going to play him enough.
No.
I'll save my rebuttal. Keep going. I want to hear this.
All right. So that team set. I have us going a repeat. Then, so the next one, it is a James Harden thing. I was kind of on the fence about picking it or not.
Okay.
I have him going to the Sixers for Ben Simmons and some first-round picks.
Oh, before the season or at the trade deadline?
Trade deadline.
Okay.
So, like, I know they've been saying they're not going to get rid of Ben Simmons and stuff, but they've stayed in talks with the Rockets to get James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you seem like, all right, if the Rockets can add one more piece or something like that, they'll give up Ben Simmons right away.
Okay, now let's hold on this real quick. So we also just put out something earlier today that the Denver Nuggets are actually in talks. Now, do you really believe that they're also offering, I believe, was it Jamal Murray and some picks and Bobo?
So it was Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and 4 first-round picks.
This is where I have a hard time. I feel like a lot of this stuff is leaks to increase his value because just this last week, Miami Heat wouldn't give up Hero. The 76ers wouldn't give up Ben, but all of a sudden now Jalen Brown, Siakam, and Jamal Murray's on the table. I think that what happened was James Harden killed a lot of his value with this condition he came into, stuff he did off field, and some of the leak rumors coming out. And now it's kind of like trying to increase his value by leaking out these teams that want to give up these young star players. Because I feel like they're not getting what they want in talks with 76ers or the Nets, the teams that he want to go to. Yeah. And it's shown because the deal would have been done by now.
Yeah. But, like, I'm gonna go on that real quick before I finish my last bold debate. That's a stupid trade in the Nuggets situation. Like, the Nuggets look phenomenal right now. Why would you give up your star young piece of Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray? The man dropped 50, I think, 3 times in the bubble last. Like, why would you get rid of that for a man that is a cancer to the locker room?
I would say the only argument I could say for them is just to take the next level because it seems like they've been that team and like they always get the second or third spot in the West, right? But it seems like they can't beat out the Lakers or the Golden States or the Clippers. So it's taking the next level. But like I said before, same thing with the Heat situation. I don't think James Harden is that star because you have a young nucleus of that grit and grind team to play it out all 7 games, and James Harden doesn't fit that. He doesn't fit that. No. And then you're replacing this like a younger player, even though Jamal Murray is not the scorer that James Harden is. He is a good scorer, and he's a lot younger, a lot cheaper. And you're gonna replace him for a more older player who's kind of like you said, locker room cancer. Yeah. We saw rumors that we heard this offseason. Coming in, and you're gonna be in the playoffs, and you're gonna be in the same spot.
And why would you want to add that contract?
Like, and the problem is not scoring; it's defense. You need defenders. They
have a solid defensive team with who they have. Now, Michael Porter Jr. last season didn't get many reps. This season, he's gonna get more reps. So I feel like they're gonna be like a next level team because of that. And they saw Bol, who they really didn't play much. He showed in the preseason and even the bubble that he can do it. Bol is nice.
I think what happens with Bobo is that to see worthwhile minutes, like not the preseason minutes or not NBA minutes. Kind of if you say NBA bubble preseason, you can call it minutes. I would like to see him in real matter when it really matters minutes. But I think with them, they just have a lot of one-way players. They need more two-way players, and James Harden is a one-way player. He's not a two-way player.
No, not at all.
What's your final bold prediction? Because I want to get to the Lakers.
My final thing, people like Brett Duffy put it in the comments. People have been hyping this Nets team up way too much. Way too much. Kyrie Irving and KD are never going to work together. All right? Kyrie, I cannot stand this man, okay? Like, I've had a grudge against him for so long. He ruined the Celtics team. That Celtics team had potential, and he ruined it.
He's part of it, yeah.
Exactly. He ruined that. Then he went to the Nets. He sees KD's hurt. He's like, okay, I'm just going to be out the rest of the season. And then sits out Celtics games. Whenever he plays the Celtics, he sits out. Oh, I bruised my left thumb. Random injuries or, oh, I'm sick. whenever it's against teams he doesn't want to play against, oh, I'm sick. Oh, I can't do this. Like, it reminds me of a lesser Kawhi situation where Kawhi can say, oh, I want to be benched. I don't want to play this game. That's how Kyrie is to me. And Kyrie really is like, he's not mentally strong.
Okay.
Not at all. KD said it himself. He doesn't want to be that number one star guy. He wants to be the second guy. Kyrie can't be that number one guy, as we've seen before.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're gonna work. And they're big three of them two and DeAndre Jordan. That's not gonna work out. I don't see it happening. I see him getting maybe 3rd seed, 4th seed. I don't see him winning the East.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I agree. I'm gonna agree and disagree some points on here. Without rebuttal, quick. See, I like Kyrie off the court because he does a lot of off the court stuff, a lot of charities and a lot of stuff like that. But as far as him on the court and dealing with me, I feel like he just can't handle pressure. And he puts his foot in his mouth a lot of times, and he's kind of hard to understand sometimes. And he blames other people for what he says.
Yep.
Like if you're gonna say it, you gotta take responsibility for it. I think he's a great player offensively. I think he gets lazy defensively. He picks and chooses when he wants to play defense. I think we've seen in the playoffs he's capable of playing defense when he was with the Cavaliers. I think KD. I like what I've seen in the preseason with them. I feel like KD seems like he can come back. Now I'm not sure at that potential, but he can still be probably the best player on the team. I just feel like both of them can't handle pressure. And now you're going with a team that had a bunch of role players who liked where they were before KD and Kyrie joined. They actually wanted D'Lo to stay. I feel like they were a tight group. They felt like they could have been the underdog team coming up. And now you got these 2 stars. They better not do what the Clippers did and take games off here and there. And they got to stay together. I feel like in the long run, I don't think that chemistry is going to work. I feel like it's going to be some going back and forth between the younger players or the role players, like DeWitt and I'm trying to think of the other, just LeVert, Kyrie and Durant, and Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, especially with Kyrie Irving talking about he wants to go to post more. He's already talking about wanting to pass the ball more. So I think in the long run, I don't think the chemistry is going to be there. I feel like other teams have been together longer. Yes, they have the star power, but I feel like other teams are deeper. Yeah. So I agree with that 4th or 5th type seed.
Yeah, but real quick before you go on the rebuttal Lakers, Brett said it good. Kyrie was only good with LeBron. Kyrie needs a number one guy on the team to take away from him. I don't know if KD's going to do that.
I think KD can do that. I just don't know, like I guess, off the field, how is that going to work together? I feel like the off-the-field stuff is going to affect how they play on the field. In the end, I feel like in the long run, the off-the-field issues are going to affect the on-the-field issues. Oh, yeah. But on the Lakers rebuttal, okay, this is a quick turnaround for them, right? Yep. You're not going to have LeBron and probably AD playing a lot of games. They're probably going to start out, especially in the beginning, a lot of games, right? So chemistry and you got a couple new players like you mentioned this season. So chemistry might be an issue. I feel like you're not as hungry, especially if you're Davis, now you got a trophy. You're not as hungry as you were for a trophy. You got one. I feel like they're going to be on kind of like on a hangover high here. I don't think they're going to be as hungry. They're not going to play as hard. And they're also not going to have that continuity and going into the playoffs. This guy's going to be sent out. So I don't think they're a for sure thing win the finals at all.
I don't know what you're talking about there, but
you don't think they're gonna have a hangover? They just won championships. You know how hard it is to win back to back.
Yeah, but they have the talent. They're gonna grind that out. They have dogs on that team. They just brought in some more dogs. They have like a squad set up to go.
They brought in new players, but now this is a new season, and you're gonna have guys sitting out and you're trying to come back in. It's gonna mess up the chemistry and continuity. I'm not gonna say it's bad as the Clippers last season, but it can have some similar problems.
LeBron's going for that GOAT status. He's gonna take his advantages when he can.
But in his eyes, he already reached it. So why does it matter? He thought like how you said, I want my respect. To him, I think that winning that trophy last season was him raising his status. I don't feel like he feels like he needs anything else to prove. There's always going to be people that's going to say something. I don't feel like he's going to be as hungry or Davis as hungry as they were the first one. So I feel like they're going to have a little hangover. And they're also not going to be as strong chemistry-wise or continuity-wise because you're going to have guys coming in and out. And it's going to be a short season, too. So how much about the fresh legs? I don't think it's a guarantee that they're going to make the finals. I think they actually – I'll maybe get into this full prediction, but I was debating if I should say I don't even know if they're going to get out the conference finals. I think they might not even make the finals.
What?
I don't think they're going to make the finals. I don't think they're going to get out the Western Conference Finals.
Who's going to beat them?
I think people clown on Golden State too much because they lost Clay. Clippers, I feel like can kind of get it together. We're going to see. I feel like Paul George and Kawhi probably learn from their mistakes. They're back at practice, back at preseason. I like a sleeper team I'm going to mention in a little bit. The Mavs played well against them. I feel like there's opportunity there. I don't think it's a guarantee. But I want to get to my bold predictions, okay? Look, it's my time.
Hating on my Lakers. Just hating on my Lakers.
You can save your rebuttal for a little bit. All right, my first bold prediction. Damian Lillard. The guy's last name I can't say.
Lillard.
Star point guard is going to win MVP this season. Now, I know people are going to talk about Luka. People are going to talk about LBJ, Davis, Kawhi. I think, well, first off, Davis, Kawhi, LBJ, like I mentioned, they're going to take games off, I think, this season because it's a short season. Quick turnaround. So I think that will take him out. Tatum, I think, is going to have his best season, but because of two reasons. One, he hasn't got his fade, and it's obviously affecting the way that he plays. I'm not sure if anyone's seen the preseason. He's not the same player when he has his curls. And two, they have other stars on that team. I think there's even though he's going to be the best star, I think those other guys are going to step up, and he probably won't have those same numbers as Lillard or Luka. Now, Luka, I feel like will be close, but because I think the Portland Blazers team is more deep, and I feel like they're going to be – I feel like they got better defensively with the Covington, and they got more deeper this offseason. So I think they're going to be better than the Mavs, who lost some depth, but they got Richardson. But Richardson, to me, is what he is. I feel like people are saying, oh, he's going to change. I don't think he's going to change that much. I think it's not going to help them that much defensively, how much they need, and I feel like they got less depth. So I think I put the Blazers above the Mavs, and I think Lillard takes MVP. That's my first bold prediction. 76ers. Now this is if they don't make the trade, right? This they how they are right now, which is why I'm predicting James Harden will go to the 76ers. 76ers will win the East, but then lose in the second round of playoffs. That's my bold prediction because. All right, so this is the same. The reason why I have it is because Joel, Ben, and Doc, right? This is the main reason.
Yep.
They're great in the regular season, but in the playoffs, they're not the same. They struggle. I like how this team's played in the preseason where they show me you have the guys are going out, making dunks, making big plays, and you have the whole bench standing up. It seems like it wasn't the same problem as it was last season with the chemistry. It seems like they have good chemistry going, good continuity right now. I feel like you're gonna see now with Ben. Now he got the shooters around him. With Curry, they brought Curry in. Mm-hmm. Now he can face more floor. I feel like it's gonna open up more for him. I feel like Joel is gonna come back now. He has Ben. You have Doc, who I think is gonna change things up. But I just think because of this Doc and this Joel Embiid and as how they've been playing, I think they're gonna be knocked out in the playoffs. Now people talk about Celtics. I hope this is not true because I was hoping for the Celtics to the first seed, but how they looked in the preseason, they have a lot of the same problems that they had last season. Injuries, too much ISO ball, and they still need to change the defense. The Nets, like I said, I think they're going to fall apart later in the season because of chemistry. The Bucks have less depth to me. I feel like I'm not sure if Drew's enough. And Heat, I feel like, they had that underdog hot run, but now I think people know what they are. More pressures on them. You're not underdogs anymore. I'm not sure if they can live up to that pressure. I think they're still going to be a great team. I just don't know if they're going to be surprising teams like they were last season. And Toronto lost a lot of depth. So I have them down a little bit. All right. Now, my last bold prediction. You're going to take a deep breath. The Blazers, I have the Blazers going fourth, Suns 6, and the Pelicans 7 in the West. That means Utah and I believe Houston is going to fall out. Now, it depends obviously that would depend on what they get back with James Harden. But I feel like in the long run, Wall and Cousins is a good pair, and it's going to be exciting to see. But because of the age and injury history, I'm not sure if they can go in the long haul. I'm not sure if, go give them the length. I'm not sure if they can play throughout the season. I think you're gonna see the drop off later in the season with that play. But yeah, that's my last bold prediction. Let me hear your rebuttal because I already know you have some stuff to say.
So hold up. First, I'm gonna start with your first one, the Damian Lillard for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he shot, I want to say 30 points a game, like 6 assists, whatever, I don't think he'd get it.
Okay, he was the bubble MVP though. Go ahead.
I know, but I'm saying just because I don't think the Blazers will make the playoffs. If they do, it'll be 8 seed. We've seen they have the same team as last season.
No,
and they struggle. They struggle. No matter what, they struggle.
They added the two most important. Okay, the worst thing for that team last season was defense. They got better defender, Covington, and they added some depth. I don't really buy that. I don't think they're the same team. I think they're a better team. And then the teams in the West got weaker. The Thunder, the Houston Rockets got weaker. You got obviously you have you don't know what's going to happen with the Houston trade. But I think that they're a better team, and Lillard's hungry. He's coming off an NBA bubble MVP thing. I think he's going to continue to play.
The bubble is a whole nother thing. The Suns went off in the bubble. Like you gotta think about this. Different teams. As Brandon Taylor said, T.J. Warren went off in the bubble. When has T.J. Warren done anything in the regular season? The bubble was a whole nother breed. All right. I don't see Damian Lillard winning MVP. I can see him getting in consideration. I can't see him winning when there's people like LeBron still there, AD, Giannis, Steph Curry back.
They're not going to be playing the whole season though.
I know, but there's so many other people that are in the conversation. Even KD could come back in MVP form.
Before
the game on top.
The last 2 seasons, though, before even the Bullets talk about, he was still in a race. Not like he was never in a race before.
No,
Lillard's been in a race before.
No, he'll stay in the race, but he's never going to finish first. That's what I'm saying.
I think he can build off what he did in the bubble. I think the Blazers have a better team this season. I feel like he, like the other stars you mentioned, is going to play the whole season.
All right, well, we'll see about that. I'm not sold on that. I don't think I'll ever be sold on that until I see it myself.
Who's your MVP pick then? I'm curious.
My MVP?
Yeah.
I'm honestly going Steph.
Steph Curry? You think he's going to play the whole season coming off an injury?
Oh, yeah. Because that injury he had first, he wasn't meant to be out the whole season. They kind of like decided, all right, everyone's out. Let's just kind of let him sit back and relax a little bit.
Go ahead.
I think Steph's going to come back MVP form. Because Klay's out, Steph's going to have to pick up a bigger role. And being off injury, he has to prove the Warriors are still the Warriors. I think he's going to come back MVP form. He's going to win it out. I have faith in that, honestly. I'll bank on that right now.
Okay, you said because Klay is out, but then his game's offensively. Like Curry, we don't count him on defense. His skills is offensively. But you just brought in guys to fill up play. You brought it offensively, that defensive standpoint with Kelly and Wiggins. Those guys are offensive guys who's still going to cut the points. They're not going to bring out what Klay brings defensively, but they're going to still take away from Curry offensively.
No one's going to take away from Curry. That's Steph Curry. No one's going to take away from
Curry. I'm saying he won't add. You're saying he will add because of Klay's out. But I'm saying you're getting Kelly and you're getting Wiggins. So I don't think he's going to add because those guys are going to contribute what they lost with Klay.
I'm telling you, like, don't sleep on Curry. Do not. No matter what, don't sleep on him. I'm
not sleeping on Curry, but I just think Dame was proving a point. Like, he was getting up there with Curry before the injury, and he was in that conversation. And he's carrying the team more. Curry has more stars on his team. You can make the point that Dame is the only, like, he's really the biggest star on the team, maybe the only star, because Melo's past his prime, and CJ, I think, is that borderline third star type of player.
The Blazers, what they have a bunch of, like, role players in that team. There's no set, like, Dame's the only star on that team. Then they have, like, complementary pieces to him.
But look at Miami. That works.
Yeah, but that's different. Jimmy Butler and Dame are two different players. The Heat have dogs. Like, they're going to play.
You don't think Dame's a dog?
No, Dame is, but not everyone else in the Blazers. CJ McCollum does not have that in him. The Heat have that grit and grind. Like, they're going to come at you no matter what.
I think with what they added last season, I think you have Melo still has a lot to prove. Who's hungry for a ring. And obviously, I think CJ's a nice pair with Dame. And you added guys like Covington, who I think is going to be good at defense. I think they're going to be a better team this season, and I feel like they're going to lead the way with Dame. And I feel like Dame's probably going to lead the league in points, and I think he's going to be the MVP. And
then, all right, well, we'll move on from that right now.
Wait, what's your next rebuttal?
Your next topic, the 76ers, I agree with that. Okay. I don't see them ever getting out to the finals with that team they have. I don't. That system doesn't work with them.
So do you think they get the first spot though? Do you think they're gonna win the
no,
East?
Don't win the East.
So you don't agree with it, kind of fully.
No, so I don't agree with them winning the East part.
Okay.
Just because they always end up like kind of choking it out towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they have more shooters now, but I don't know how it's gonna like work out, especially with all the trade talks happening around. I don't know if it's gonna like lower Ben's like drive. You know what I mean? Like kind of like make him upset and shit. But like, sorry, I didn't mean that.
It's a family show.
But you know what I mean. Like, I don't know if that's gonna like hurt Ben's like feelings. Like his morale's gonna go down.
Okay.
I'm like kind of like on the fence about that. There's other teams in the East that I do think will pass them. I don't think it'll be the Celtics, just because, like you said, they have the same issues as last season. Unless Tatum takes that next step to where he's a superstar. Right now he's a star. If he takes that superstar role, then okay, they can get second seed, maybe first.
Okay.
But as of right now, I don't think they're good enough for that right now. And the 76ers, I don't trust.
this is the first time I think with Tatum that he's going to give the ball the whole season. He got kind of like the other guy midway of last season. Right after All-Star break, he was given after he started putting up 40 points. So when Kemba comes back, I don't think he's going to be affected. My biggest thing with the Celtics is injuries and too much iso ball and interior defense. Because Tristan Thompson, even when he comes back, he's not going to be able to play full 48 minutes. Seems like they might start Tice, and he's also too small. I feel like to beat up guys with Joel Embiid or Bam.
Tristan wasn't a good signing. They kind of.
I think he was what we needed. We needed rebounding. He is perfect for that. But we needed.
There were so many other like phenomenal centers out there, and they just screwed it up. Yeah, exactly. Danny Ainge he screwed that up.
Well, it takes two. I think Tristan Thompson is solid, but I think we need more. I'm looking at the comments real quick. People say we're sleeping on Giannis. How do you feel about Giannis winning MVP? Do you think first off, who's your MVP? You said it's going to be Curry, right? You think Giannis is going to, now that he has Drew, going to take that jump? Or you think because his space is going to open more?
I'm not really sold on the whole Giannis thing. Even this season, I wasn't sold on the Giannis thing. I thought LeBron had it in the bag. Plenty of other people thought LeBron had it in the bag. I think he kind of got screwed out of that.
No. The regular season, no. Giannis was the best player of the regular season, stat-wise and team-wise.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
No. Listen,
okay,
LeBron should have had that.
LeBron
at the age that he's at, putting up the stats that he's doing.
It don't matter about your age. You still got to take it for what it is. Who's playing better at the regular season? It was Giannis.
LeBron, I'm telling you.
No one was playing better than Giannis at the regular season. He had the better stats. His team was number one offensively and defensively.
No, LeBron got screwed out of that, and AD got screwed out of Defensive Player of the Year. Giannis had no right winning both of those.
He was
absolutely no right doing
we
that.
talked. Okay, we can go back to this old. You guys can go back to the old podcast where we were talking about debating for the awards. But I said Giannis had better defensive stats than Davis. The only thing I would say about Giannis is he doesn't have that mentality of always taking the best guy. Yes, Milwaukee needs consistent shooting. I definitely agree, Duffy. So now back to my how you feel about my last bold prediction.
I don't know. I don't know because like if Houston trades James Harden, then okay, I can see them missing the playoffs. If they keep him, they're still a 4 or 5 seed team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if DeMarcus Cousins comes back to prime form, John Wall shows out, they could even be a top 3 team in the West. I don't know how that team's going to mesh together. John Wall looked good in the preseason, so did DeMarcus Cousins, but we all know they're both injury prone. And then Christian Wood on top of that, they have pieces to be able to do it. It's just a matter of if James Harden wants to play there still, how he's going to do it. I don't know if he's going to like kind of like tank the bed and kind of like sit out because he's like, all right, I want to get out of here, like get rid of me. But they have potential to do that. So I'm like iffy on that, but whatever. We'll see on that.
Honestly, though, okay, so I had the Blazers, Suns, and New Orleans going in. How do you feel about that?
I like the Suns. I like the Suns. I like a lot. The Suns, I think that honestly could be a top 4 team, like you said. Adding Chris Paul is a huge. And I'm reading these comments. They're messing up LeBron. It's kind of hurting my feelings. LeBron's hairline held him back. It's
true.
It's hitting me in the soul. I don't like that. But Chris Paul is a great addition to those Suns. He's gonna give Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton like the space, and he's a phenomenal passer. So that's gonna be exactly. He's a leader. That's that vet they need in that team.
Mm-hmm.
The bubble they showed out. Devin Booker showed out. He's had that in him all along, and now they have a leader, a vet. Yeah. These comments.
Keep going. I'll show you. Okay,
that hurts my soul.
All right, go ahead.
The adding Chris Paul is phenomenal, and they didn't really give up much for him. They didn't lose much, so like that was really good.
I think that was the best get in the offseason, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm looking at everything else, like based on fit and based on the player and based on how much that can bring him up, I think that was the best get in offseason, NBA offseason.
Yeah, Chris Paul was the number 1 guy in the offseason to go to.
How about
I wanted Lakers to get him.
No, he didn't want to go there. Not everyone wants LA. Okay. How do you feel about the Pelicans?
I don't know. I've told you from the start, I'm not a big Zion guy. Just because the way he plays, he's gonna get hurt quick. He's too big to be playing like that. Which
is why I think getting Steven Adams is so underrated. I feel like Steven Adams would be great for the Pelicans teams. I feel like they got a great combination of vet leadership, right? You got JJ Redick, Steven Adams, and they also got young players with Brent. They kept bringing Brandon Ingram, which I thought was huge, and then you got Zion. I definitely think they're definitely in the hunt. They've been looking pretty good this preseason too.
Like, they look good. They look great. Steven Adams is huge. All right, everyone just hating on my team. I don't like this. I don't like this. Caruso had hair back in college, all right? He just needs to grow it back out.
All right, go ahead. I'm trying to get you off your game.
Yeah, I'm off my game.
All right, but back
Pelicans, like Steven Adams, like you said, that's huge. He's a phenomenal center. That's going to be a great addition to them. I want to see Zion get more of like a mid-range game, outside game, like kind of spread the floor, not just be pure athletic strength. Lonzo, he might be one of the worst ball brothers. I know LiAngelo is pretty bad, but
no, I don't know about. I think that's speech. I think he's actually, like you've seen in prison, he's improving his shot. And I'm not just saying this because I drafted him in my fantasy basketball league. Okay, he's like a Rondo with passing playmaking, right? Playmaking game, and I feel like he's developing his shot, and he has a team that's behind him and taking that shot. Like JJ Redick, he just needs to shoot more, so he can get better.
But
I don't
like,
think it's broken.
I'm not sold on that team. Brandon Ingram had a phenomenal season last season. Let's see if he can do it again. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but I guess we're going to see. And here we
Brett Duffy's number one, I guess, Lakers fan over here. But anyways, what I was to say was now I want to get our last bold prediction. We didn't mention it. Who is your NBA Finals? What's your NBA Finals prediction? Yeah, say it here right now before the season starts.
Can you go first? Can you go first?
You gotta get it together.
I gotta process this. I have some running through my mind. I gotta like run the little things and everything. So I need you to go first.
People might be surprised by mine. People gonna be surprised. All right. So I said Philadelphia's gonna get knocked out, right? I said Philadelphia's gonna get knocked out. I don't think Bucks are as deep. I think the Heat kind of, people are expecting it now. I don't think they can do the same thing they did last year. So I'm going with the Celtics. They just need to stay healthy. I feel like they're gonna. I think why I say that because I think Damian Ainge is gonna use that the largest TPE trade reception in history. He's gonna use that. I feel like in the offseason, in the middle of the trade deadline. I don't think he's gonna wait till next season to improve this team. I think he's gonna I don't honestly. I think they're gonna get a defensive. I think they're gonna get an anchor in the middle. I don't know who that is yet, but I think they're gonna get someone in the middle to help with interior defense. Or they might get a couple guys with the bench players because I don't think they need another star. Because I don't think you should get guys that take the ball away from Tatum or Brown. I think you have a great thing right there with the number 1, 2 duo. You already have Kemba. I feel like you don't need another star there to take the ball out of their hands. You might have chemistry issues like you did 2 years ago.
Do you have anyone in mind that they would be that guy?
So honestly, I was thinking if Blake Griffin comes back, like to old form, I think he might be an option. Drummond, I don't know, he's not as good as he was a couple seasons ago, but I think he just wants to win. He's still that defensive piece. I feel like if he fills those needs, he might limit them offensively though. And it depends also how some I think teams go this season. Who drops down in the standings, and if they start selling, like if the Houston Rockets don't do good as expected, will they get rid of Cousins? Will they get rid of PJ Tucker? Like those type of guys, I can see them getting for a defensive anchor or some maybe a JJ Redick type as far as like a role player who can come off this bench.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to my prediction. I'm gonna have the Celtics, and I always said the Lakers not gonna make it out. I love the Boston versus Lakers final. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. I actually have an upset here because I don't think originally I would have think the Nuggets, but I don't think that was going to make for good TV. I think the NBA wants good TV, so I think it's going to be Celtics versus Mavericks. I think we're going to get Luka.
Mavericks.
I think they're going to pull some upsets just because I feel like they play the Lakers well, and I feel like that's going to be the Western Conference Finals right there.
Oh, hold up.
I think in the regular season that the Portland will be better than the Mavericks, but I think the Mavericks will make the run in the playoffs.
That should have been your bold prediction. Like
no, I think honestly,
bold statement.
I'm not 100% behind the Mavericks. I'm invested in the Celtics, but the Mavericks, I feel like they can pull the upset. I'm invested in the Lakers not making the NBA Finals. I think that it's just the offseason is too short. I don't think they're going to be as hungry. I feel like there's other teams that's coming up. Maybe even get Golden. You know what? Even Golden State, I think in that debate too. But I think the Mavericks. I think they want good TV. You might either I might change it to then either Golden State or the Mavericks. Give me a second. I'm gonna come back to this. Go pick your picks. Some two of the games before you see the Mavericks. Because I think honestly, I don't think the Lakers are gonna make it. And I think it's the Mavericks play the Lakers well if they see each other in the Western Conference Finals. They match up well.
Of course, I have my Lakers going to the West, winning the West. They added Marc Gasol, added Dennis Schroeder, added Montrezl Harrell, added Wesley Matthews.
Mhm.
They did lose some defense, but they gained a lot of offense. I don't see the Mavericks getting close to that. The Mavericks played against them last season. This season's a whole new team, basically. Like, there's way more weapons on this team. That was their issue. They didn't have the weapons.
Okay.
So I think this season, Lakers, it won't be a cakewalk, I'll say. Exactly. The Mavs don't have enough. They don't. I'm telling you, KCP's always not KCP. KP's always hurt.
Mhm.
Porzingis, I don't know.
And that's what got me really kind of questioning it, just because I feel like if KP goes down, if it's just Luka and a bunch of role players, they might struggle. I just think they're capable of pulling upsets. But because everyone's getting on me, I understand it might be a big thing. So I'm gonna make it more predictable. I'll make it more predictable. It's gonna be Celtics versus Golden State. Just because I feel like it's gonna be good TV. I don't think they're gonna have a Denver in there. I don't think the Nuggets are in there.
Like, that's probably an even bolder statement than the Mavericks one. Yeah,
Golden State?
I think Steph Curry is going to be the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many good teams in the West. I don't think – because losing Klay is their main defensive piece. That's going to hurt them hard. Draymond Green, we saw last season, he's like, I don't really have anything else to say about him. Like, he's looking like down. He's going downhill. So they'll get like a 5th seed, but I don't see them getting close to the finals. Maybe a second-round loss, but they got to get through the Clippers still. They got to get through the Lakers, the Mavericks, the Nuggets. Like, there's plenty of solid teams in the West. The West is stacked.
The only thing I'm worried about them is defense, but they drafted Wiseman, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was great. He looked great in college. He was actually probably people saying that he should have went number 1. And then they also got Kelly Oubre, and he got Andrew Wiggins, who looked pretty good last season when Curry and Klay was out. And you got Draymond Green, who's still a defensive anchor. So I feel like they still have the pieces, especially in the West. I feel like people always say it's competitive, but it got weaker. Because then you got Thunder. The Thunder are out, right? You guys bring up to me. You guys told me the Mavs are not good enough. I think the Mavericks can pull upsets though. Then you have Portland Blazers, who got better, but we mentioned the defensive issues. You have the Lakers, who I said are not going to be as hungry, and they're also going to have guys in and out. You have the Clippers, who's trying to just figure it out. Houston Rockets, we don't know what they're going to look like. I don't think the West is as competitive. I would even say the East is more competitive than the West right now. Because think about it. You got 76ers. You got the Bucks. You got Toronto. You got Heat. You got the Celtics. You got Indiana Pacers. And then you have a team like Atlanta coming up. They're more closer together than it is in the West. They're more, I feel like, more competitive than the West.
All right. Well, I just got a text. He'll be here soon. They're having trouble with the link. So our guest will be here shortly, but real quick, my prediction. We're going to ask him this too. I want to hear his thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Lakers in the West. I'm going to stick by that. I'm going to stick by it. They got a solid team. And the East, I was like on the fence about. I was like, all right, there's the Nets, but like I'm not sold on them. I don't think I'll ever be sold on them until I see it happen. I think the Celtics, I'm not like there yet with them either. Just unless they add that piece, they need a depth as well. I need to use their bench more, not burn their guys out playing 45 minutes each as starters. I honestly see the Bucks making it to the finals. I told you I like Drew Holiday addition. Mm-hmm. That's going to be phenomenal. Drew Holiday is a phenomenal point guard. People sleep on him still. So I think Bucks Lakers. And honestly, I think it'd be a game 7. Lakers pulling it off. But it'd be a close series just because the Giannis, he's kind of hard to contain. It's going to be like LeBron would have to play ridiculous defense on him the whole game. Or AD. No one else could really do it. So I think that'd be set. I think Bucks, Lakers in the finals 7 games.
Okay. Now we actually have a guest coming. Can you reintroduce who our guest is and give us some information on some stats?
All right. So we have star guard for the TBL League, Jarret Henderson, 6'7" guard/forward. They call him the energy guy, one of the most athletic people in that league. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You got to get the right one on there.
There we go.
Start on this. We're going to use the right one. Thank you for coming on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about y'all?
We're doing good. We're doing good. So for those that don't know, you're on the Undiscovered team, who was undefeated until last game. But you guys seem like you guys are like I said, just top of the league right there, in the Undiscovered league. The first question I have for you though is you're listed as a guard, right? But you play like a big man because of your size. You're also known as a hustle guy, an energy guy. How would you describe your game?
Like you just said, just that energy guy, that hustle guy, that's gonna get everything he has each and every game, each and every practice. And like I've been playing, like I was a big in high school actually, so rebounding and everything was just that's just been natural for me. But in college and now I've been developing more of a guard skill set too. So I would say that.
Sam?
So I know you're in the TBL league and you're in the Undiscovered league. How did you come about like joining this league? Like, how did that happen?
What was crazy is last year around this time, well, I would say in September, Dallas Skyline had a workout and I attended that workout, and then Coach Matt Michelle was there, and they had saw me, and they saw my untapped potential and everything. And so they came up to me after the tryout, and they said they really liked my game and they wanted me to attend their practices because they have practices and stuff in the DFW area. And so I attended their practices, and I really liked it here. I felt like it was a family environment, and I got along with my teammates very well. And they invited me to training camp in January with the Louisville. It was the Louisville Yellow Jackets, now it's the Louisville Leopards. But they invited me to training camp and everything, and I attended. And then I was just one of the players they really liked, and I earned a contract here, and the rest is just history,
For sure. But sticking on to your game, who do you say you emulate your game after?
I watch a lot of Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, and Jalen Brown. They're all like 6'6", 6'7". They're all around. They have an all-around game. They're not coming into the league was that they couldn't shoot and everything, but once they got into the league, they really developed their shot, and they just go out and compete every game. Defense and rebounding, and they're all-star caliber players. So I really love their games, and that's about it.
Two-way play, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And can you say that again? You said that Jalen Brown is an all-star player. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Sam? Okay, I just want to make sure you heard that.
I've never doubted him. I said they don't give him the time to shine.
I mean, he was supposed to be this past year, but politics in the NBA. But in the future, he's definitely gonna be an all-star.
I think too. Gordon Hayward was in it. I feel like when Hayward comes in, he kind of loses, I want to say, his spot. And you see him. He kind of stands still in the corner instead of cutting more. I feel like with Hayward out, him being for sure number 2 guy, I feel like he's definitely gonna step up. I feel like he's even more consistent than Tatum, I would say. But Sam, back to our guy of the hour, Jarret Henderson. Do you have a next question for him?
So, do you have a favorite part of the game, like whether it's defensive, shooting? Like I've seen you dunk on people numerous amounts of time. Do you have a favorite part?
I wouldn't have a favorite part. It's just I love, of course, dunking, and I like to guard the best player on every team. I like to get that task. I want coach to be like, guard him. With the pros, they had CJ Carter. He played for the Knicks. I wanted that task in guarding him. So I definitely say, I like doing that.
Hey, that's how you got to do it sometimes. Someone has to guard the best player.
Yeah.
So talking about that, I want to know something because we've seen you dunk in a bunch of games. I want to know, will there be a dunk contest for the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League? And if there is, or if there should be, who's in it and who will win? Because I know who I think you will win if based off what we've seen. But who do you think you will win and who will be in it? And is there actually going to be one?
I don't know if there's going to be one, but if we have one, it'd be a very good one. I think of course like I would be in it. Damian Durham, he has some pretty impressive dunks that he's done in practice and everything. I say he'd be in it. Mike would be in it. He's a sleeper. I definitely say, Mike would be one. And I wouldn't say Biggie because Biggie, he has the basic dunks. You know, I don't think he has any tricks in it.
All he has to do is really do like this.
Yeah, Jesse and Marcus, like they said, Jesse and Marcus, Jesse Williams and Marcus Brooks, they'd be in it too. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of great dunkers in this league, honestly. It's fun to watch.
Now, who's winning it, though?
It's a lot of undiscovered talent. That's why it's called the Undiscovered League. It's just a lot of guys that hasn't been the 5-star or wasn't that guy on their college, high school or college teams. And now, you know, their skills are getting into full fruition. And, I mean, it's just a great league. It's getting ourselves out there. It's getting our teammates out there as well, too.
Now, staying on the topic of dunking, who you think is the greatest dunker in the NBA history? Like, who do you have as the greatest dunker in NBA history? I'm interested in hearing this.
MJ. I love MJ. It's my GOAT. But,
really?
Yeah, for sure. MJ's my GOAT. Just whatever he does is just amazing to me.
Over Vince, though?
Vince, or your sleeper is Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins, yeah.
Okay. I just had to give the Vince card, the original Superman.
Yeah.
No. Now going to the next question. Who do you have for him, Sam?
I'm sorry.
So last game, you guys were undefeated. You came in, you battled it out against another star team. How do you guys bounce back from a loss like that? And do you guys have anything set for the next game that you're gonna work on?
Going back to the basics, just getting after in practice. You know, I wouldn't say, you know, rearrange things, you know, but just, you know, we still build chemistry and just, you know, go out there the next game and play harder. That's all we really can do. Not change too much because, you know, it's all been working, but, you know, last game is just we lost in a close one, so not change too many things, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, not to get too much in your head about it too. Just move on to the next one. Now a question I have for you is, now you hear after these games, especially after the last two, you have the pro scouts talking about you. What's your mindset when you hear these comments from the scouts that they're looking at you, that they think you're the top player in these games? What goes through your mind when you hear that?
It's just a blessing, honestly. I mean, like I said before in the previous interview, I'm not supposed to be here. You know, I wasn't a 5-star guy. I wasn't that guy on that team, on my original team. So just seeing that and hearing that from a pro scout is just an honor, and it's a tremendous blessing. I mean, Coach Matt Michelle, I thank them a lot for putting me in this spot, in this situation, and all the development they've done with me on and off the court too. So, I mean, it's crazy to me even thinking about that.
So, I'm talking about that. You have these pro scouts coming to the games, talking about you and such. What's next for you? Do you have any plans next? You know, just going day by day, keep working hard, keep being in the gym. There's some stuff that should maybe pop off in January and February, I should say, but I can't really go into detail about that. But just, you know, going day by day and working hard and, you know, improving on my shot, because that's one area that, you know, the scouts have said, they want to see me do more.
For sure. Thank you for coming on the show. Is there anything that you'd like to add that we haven't touched on?
No, just I like to thank y'all for having me on the show. I like to thank Ms. Sharon and Coach Matt for the opportunity for me to come to this program and this organization. I like to thank my teammates for everything. Without them, I wouldn't be here. And they just been huge friends for me on and off the court. And I like to thank my family, my mom, my dad, and my sister for their tremendous support as well, and just everybody that has been supporting me through middle school, high school, college, through everything. I just want to thank you.
Hey, you were my star player last week, player of the week. I'm looking forward to this week.
Thank you again, Jarret Henderson, for coming on our show. It's been our pleasure. For those who don't know, you guys can check him out in Undiscovered League. They play on Sunday. We usually have our links posted. Tune in. Amazing dunker, energy guy. We want to thank you for coming on our show. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all again for having me. Y'all are wonderful.
Thank you. And then for our viewers, you can check us out next Monday, same time, 12 p.m. And until then, have a good week.
See you guys.
See you.
Loving the flexing in the back.
Mike.
Come on, y'all know who this is.
I knew it was Mike. I see him back there creeping.
I'm winning the dunk contest. I gotta stop sleeping. I'm winning the dunk contest.
All right. Hey, we need to get that going, though. I have to create Young Minds League. Let's get a dunk contest going. All right, but thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes, thank you.